Today on The Social, the Toronto Transit Commission plans to launch a pilot project that will call out bad commuter behavior over its speaker system. But is public shaming the right solution? And does a partner's ChatGPT use give you the ick? Why one woman refuses to date anyone who leans too heavily on AI for inspiration. Then, taste testing the viral dirty soda trend bubbling up everywhere. Customizable and creamy recipes with a hint of nostalgia. Plus, feeling that corporate chill, how to spot the signs you're about to be cut loose, and ways to cushion the blow. It all starts now on The Social.
Ladies, what are you doing Saturday? We're going clubbing. Well, that was a lovely, lovely welcome. Thank you so much, and welcome to The Social. We'd like to welcome to the panel music journalist Emilie Hanskamp is here. And I would wear this to the club.
Oh, so good.
We love
so
it. We
good.
loves it. Okay, everybody, let's kick this off. I don't know if you've heard this news, but the Toronto Transit Commission, aka TTC, announcing that it will start to shame riders engaging in antisocial behavior on subway platforms over the loudspeakers. Okay? Oh, someone's saying finally.
Oh, this
finally.
so
So
exciting.
they say, what does that mean? They say that's anyone who's vandalizing property or being aggressive toward others. And there's been a bit of a mixed reaction, although this section, we're very clear where you stand. We love that. But listen, the rest of us, what do we think? Is public shaming the solution here?
I think. I found my people here. Because I am an absolute monster on the TTC.
You are?
I'm shaming left, right, and center.
Really?
Like I'm Oprah giving up. I can't.
Well, what are the things that are setting you off?
I mean, you know, if someone's got the backpack on, they're turning around. If someone's pushing you and rushing to get out, but you're all going in the same place, it's like, please calm down.
Yeah.
I have one, but I will say things to people directly, not too harshly, I don't think. But
Yeah, that's not your style.
There was one time where there was a kid, probably 7 years old, and I see him picking his nose and lining up his boogers on the subway pole. So I'm watching this happen. I'm just horrified.
Is the parent watching?
So the dad is there, and I'm like, he's gonna say something. Doesn't say something. So I go up to the dad and I said, excuse me, your son is putting boogers on the subway pole.
What did he say?
He looked at me expressionless. So sometimes the shaming doesn't work, but I've been shamed before.
What did you get shamed for?
When I was a kid, a wee lass,
You were putting boogers on the pool.
I was. And then I was like, oh, no. And so I was with my friends, we were playing with ringtones on the phone and we were kind of trying them out. Can you imagine how annoying that is?
Yes.
So adults at the end of their workday are on the train and this guy just loses it on us, rightfully so. I learned my lesson, he was right, we were annoying, and shame sometimes does work. You gotta hand it out.
Wow.
Interesting. I mean, I definitely, as a rule, I don't like shaming. I don't like the idea of shaming. I just think it's wrong. And I can see all the ways in which this would go sideways. Having said that, I do have a story of recently something that happened on the TTC where somebody came to try to rush the doors, which I think happens on the regular, right?
Yeah.
The doors are closed. They kind of get in like an arm, and then they force them open. open. And the TTC operator, the subway operator, actually got on the loudspeaker, and this was one of those days where you could hear it. It wasn't one of those rah, rah, rah. I could hear what he was saying. And he said, please, to the person wearing it, so he described the person, they weren't on my car, can you stop doing that? And then he went on to explain what happened. So apparently when you force those doors open, oftentimes it breaks the door, which is like, I didn't know that. And so then it puts the car out of service, which causes delays, which makes all of us very upset. So this wasn't so much of as a public shaming as it was a public service. So I think in that case, it was actually very helpful. I didn't know that beforehand.
First of all, great.
Yeah.
That's a great use of that.
I like
technique.
that.
My problem with this pilot project is that it doesn't go far enough. So far, the TTC, Oh yeah, we want it all.
We're not the big guns.
It'll make sense. It'll make sense. Right now they're saying they're only gonna use this on the loudspeakers on platforms, on 2 stations for the pilot project. A lot of the worst behavior is happening in the train when you're en route. So right now they're not shaming, and that is where you're gonna get into a lot of trouble. You know those yellow strips, every transit system probably has their own version of like an emergency something that you can pull. And so there's delays because people are using them wrongly, or maybe there's somebody who's misbehaving on the train. So I do wonder, is the platform the only place? Like if the issues are also happening on trains, why are we not gonna also do it on the trains themselves? I think it doesn't go far enough.
That's why we gotta shame each other.
Shame platforms, even the escalators. Don't forget you're supposed to.
Oh my God.
Thank you. Hi, I see you. I respect you. You stand right and you walk left. Nice little subtle reminders. But have you guys ever been to a city where they do have public transit and it kind of works? It's like everyone kind of, Japan, Tokyo, Seoul, Stockholm's another one. And there's some, you're right. And I wonder if some of this, that idea of the social contract, social etiquette, it's kind of baked in from a young age, and that they don't have to resort to shaming because everyone just sort of follows the rules, and there's better signage, there's better design, there's better layout, it's all there.
And you said public transit systems that actually work. You know what people, you know what makes people grumpy? You know what makes people agitated? Waiting 45 minutes for a streetcar or a bus. I'm sorry, TTC. I'm happy you're putting resources into tattletaling on people, but how about you put resources into making the subways actually come?
Hey, what about this? I think we ought to stick with shame. If someone asked you to open up your Notes app and show what's in there, would you? No. It's interesting. A reporter for the Washington Post writes that if you really want to know a person, that's precisely where you need to look. So would you guys show, would you show me what's on your Notes app?
I would show a stranger over somebody who I actually knew, I feel like. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't care what a stranger thinks of me, but I do care what my friends think of me. And I think it's a window into an embarrassingly chaotic mind. And I'm just
what do you have on there?
Well, it's a mixed bag. I think this is probably true for all of us. It's like half-baked grocery list with like 2 items on it, to like my blood pressure results.
That's not that embarrassing. I'll show you embarrassing. That's nothing.
That's not that
great.
bad. Well, but just some of it's useless too. Like, for example, I spoke at, Mel had a retreat on the weekend. I spoke there. We talked about sex and pleasure. So I made a note to myself to remember my vulva puppet and my 3D clitoris. These are 2 important items I planned on bringing. It's a 2-list item, and I forgot one of them. So how useful is that anyways?
I would love for a stranger to find out.
Right? That would have been an interesting conversation. What's your embarrassment?
I was looking today. I have 1,700 notes.
What? I might rival you with that.
I want to check my
1,700
number.
Okay. And I would say about 2% of those are like understandable grocery lists, some nice brainstorming, and then 98% are things so embarrassing and personal.
Are they rage notes?
I don't think a lot about what happens when I die, but I do think about who's gonna get access to my journals and who's getting access to my notes.
So is it poetry? Is it journal writing?
Terrible poetry. It's lines from my therapist. It's the things I want to talk about my therapist with next session.
Yeah, I have that too.
It's things I don't like about my exes, so I can remind myself that they're not all that.
Wow.
I don't want people in on that.
Almost. It's like little reminders.
What about your
I think
notes?
mine are so boring, and I think I'd share them. In fact, I went through, same with you, movies I want to watch, grocery list, takeout orders, because whenever I go to a takeout place, I'm like, what did we get last time? It was so good. Let me just look through these 50 notes and find it. 50? I know 50, that's it.
I'm pretty boring as well. If someone were to grab my phone, the app that I'd be most worried about are my text messages.
Oh.
Yeah. Notes, boring.
Go
it's
at it.
Very perfunctory. It's the grocery list. It's whatever. It's nonsense. But my text messages, man, I need to password protect my text. That's where my personal stuff goes down.
Okay.
Look at the stuff that we mess around with. It's very
But there's things you say to your friends and things you hold back, and all the things you hold back, that goes in your notes.
Really? You actually write it down?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, that's where all the real secrets live. Don't hack my phone.
And you're writing them to yourself. You're writing them to yourself.
Sometimes I do have like arguments, like there's one app where it's like I try to take both sides of a contentious situation and then like write out, yeah, but, and go back and forth, almost like I'm having a fight. Not a fight, but like an argument.
Like
That's
things
a kind
you
of method, I guess.
Does that work? So you like
It
helps
does
you
sometimes,
process?
but
That's
it's more
healthy.
to do with world politics, not myself.
Wow. Fascinating. Fascinating.
Okay, everybody, make sure those passwords are enacted on your phone. And we're going to take a break, everybody. Up next, a writer for The Guardian is refusing to date anyone who uses ChatGPT. She says they lack originality. I don't know. So for those on the dating scene, we're going to think about this, and we'll be back in 3 minutes.
Tomorrow on The Social, supermodel Coco Rocha struts into our studio with details tailored for fashion lovers ahead of the Project Runway Canada premiere. This week on The Social, it's giving clueless. 90s beauty trends are making a glam comeback, and Bahar Niramwala shows us how to get in on the fun.
If you are hopped up like this audience and you would like to be here live in studio to join in the fun, all you have to do is scan the QR code that's on the screen right now for your ticket information. It's really easy, right? Really easy. And we always like to say it is free $99 to be here. That's right. That's right.
Okay, a writer for The Guardian says she refuses to date anyone who uses ChatGPT. She says trying to form a deep, lasting connection with a person who outsources original thought is the ultimate ick. Emily, do you agree? You're out on the dating scene, do you agree?
Ick. I have such an ick for over-reliance on technology in general. Like, I can't even stand the thought of a partner like being at home talking to their Alexa to figure their life out. Like, I can't deal with that. There's something about it, and AI is the same for me. I think what it is that when you use AI, you're putting in the least possible effort into finding answers. So you're not resourceful. It's kind of leaning into this passivity that I find a huge turnoff. Like, the idea of being next to someone and them looking to ChatGPT for their answers on what to do with their day, and with me makes me want to cry and be single forever.
Would you prefer that a potential mate turn to their squire to help them?
Preferably.
You know what I mean? Like, what's the difference between, like in this case, this woman, the ick was she saw a guy pull up ChatGPT to look for a restaurant in the area that they were in. Isn't that just like looking for Google?
It's not the same. It's not the same. One, and I don't want to make this too, but we know that every time you look at ChatGPT, every search, it's bad for the environment and it takes a lot more energy.
Actually.
So I'll say that. And there is a turn off to me in that, in like, do you not know or do you not care? Either way, ick and ick. But it's just put a little more effort. Even if you Google it and you have to read a few blurbs about different restaurants and make a critical decision instead of AI saying, this is what your life is going to be.
It takes so much time, Emily.
You're into this? You're out on the dating scene.
I'm not on the dating scene, so, I don't have to worry about the ChatGPT stuff. I use ChatGPT a lot, the way that it was used in this case that the woman had an ick with. So, for example, she's like, could you imagine that, you roll over in bed, you wake up, and the guy says, you know what, let's go find a beautiful restaurant, and I'm going to ChatGPT. What ChatGPT is good for? Not everything, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it can be. You can definitely lean on it and be lazy. But I actually think, for me, I use it a lot for travel, for restaurants, because I am not a foodie, and if I'm going to a city that I've never been to, I am going to rely on people who have the expertise that I don't have.
Why wouldn't you then pick up a newspaper to Emily's point?
A newspaper?
Here's what I want.
Sorry, I know. I sound so
I love it.
Like,
What about
hold on, I have to give smoke signals to talk to my neighbor.
But can I ask you something? Wait, can I ask you something?
You go.
I'm on dating apps, right?
Yes.
I know, it's sad. I'm on dating apps and sometimes the bio will say, I used ChatGPT to write this bio, haha, and they think that's a common thing. People are
that's
into
it.
it.
Yeah.
That is definitely it.
It's a slippery slope. It's
But
a
like,
slippery
what if a
slope.
guy used ChatGPT to try to get their insurance amount lower? I did that. I asked him to write me a script to be like, this has gone up 36%, like in every year. Help me write a script to fight back. It didn't work. But that's clever.
But that's not relying on it for your romance.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do think though that we can't lose sight, not to sound like a Debbie Downer, but like it's like
Yeah.
if we start outsourcing all this stuff, we are eliminating like people who are artists. I think back to my first couple dates with Jason too, where he sent me a 2-lined email. The first line I can't tell you because it's just too private, but it was about my skin.
It's in your notes app.
And it might be in my notes app. The second line though was I'm a man of very few words and I choose them carefully, and it gave me these 2 lines gave me such a window into who he was. If I found out afterwards that he'd got ChatGPT to help him,
That's fair.
That to me, it is a huge ick. So we
Yeah.
can't become too reliant on this. Otherwise, it's completely disingenuous and it's gross.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
it.
that's
That's it.
fair.
Okay. So Reddit users are sharing unusual habits that were totally normal in their family. For example, one person wrote that they always mute TV commercials, and someone else said their family members cheer for each other's farts. So is there an unusual home habit that you thought was totally normal growing up in your house?
Well, we'd have friends come over. You know those deep and delicious frozen cakes? We'd come over and friends would always be so excited to have a piece. And I didn't find out later why, because in my house, that cake was cut into 4 pieces. I think it's intended to serve 8 people, not 4. And so to this day, a childhood friend of mine who has grown kids, their children still refer to it as, oh, Mom, can we have a Jess slice? So if that is my legacy, so be it. You know?
Mine is very, very odd. I grew up on a horse farm, and we had a well. And it was kind of shallow, and if anybody's ever grown up on a well, you have to be really careful. Sometimes the water gets so low you don't have water. So before anybody could take a shower in the house, you'd have to actually pick up the phone, call, you get the reference, call the stable to make sure that they weren't watering the horses at the same time, or doing other things with water, or you would have no water for your shower or lose.
You thought that was normal.
And I was like, oh, that's totally normal. So I'd go to other people's houses and people would just take showers.
So you didn't have to
Normal.
call
And I
anybody.
was like,
Where do you keep the horses?
Yeah, where do you keep the horses? And you don't have to call anybody and you have all the hot water in the world? That's amazing.
You have a good one, Emily?
I put this into I have 3 siblings, and I put this into the sibling group chat, and it just went off. And I realized a lot of them are about food. If you have a lot of siblings, I feel like there's a lot around food. I knew that most kids didn't like vegetables. I mean, that's kind of a thing. So we were picky. But what I didn't realize is that most families didn't take it as far as we took it. Like, we would have full-on green bean protests, standoffs between the parents and the kids every night, where you were sitting there and they're sitting there. You're not allowed to leave the table until you eat your beans. They won't leave either. So those lasted a really long time. We would negotiate, we would make deals. This would happen like every night. And I was like, oh yeah, you're picky, me too. And then they'd talk about it and be like, yeah, I just had to eat my green beans. And I was like, oh, I would just sit at the table and just wouldn't
not eat it.
It's the food things though, because in our family, I think my dad must have started this. Anytime you made a sandwich that was on a bun, he called it a bunwich. So I just went out in the world thinking that that's what everyone called it. So I think I asked for it somewhere, like, Joe, can I have a bunwich? And the person was like, what did you just say? Anyways, that's when you realize, like, your family is
So
not normal.
sweet.
Yeah. You can use that one. Go for it.
Yeah,
Make it a
that's
thing. Make it a thing.
It just goes to show we all have a little weird in us, and it's just fine. Okay, after the break, everybody, Pope Leo is hosting Hollywood actors and even directors at the Vatican this coming weekend. So we're going to tell you who's on the divine guest list, and also why. We're going to give you our take after this. We'll be back. Everybody, Maddie, so how does this sound to you? Lights, camera, action, Pope. There's about 36 Hollywood stars who will meet Pope Leo this weekend, including actors like Cate Blanchett, Chris Pine, Adam Scott. The Vatican has said that the Pope has, quote, has expressed his desire to deepen dialogue with the world of cinema, exploring the possibilities that artistic creativity offers to the mission of the church and the promotion of human values. I mean, he's busy, the church is busy, so is this a priority, or should it be a priority for the church?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm with you. I mean, I went to film school, though my first degree was in screenwriting, and I'm a huge fan of film, but I don't like the idea of religion getting involved. To me, it's too close to propaganda, and I think there's all kinds of problems. I just even think about movies like, you think about 1988, Martin Scorsese made The Last Temptation of Christ. And I don't know if you remember, there was so much controversy around that, because there's a scene where Jesus is sort of on the cross, and I believe he's imagining another life where he'd ended up with Mary Magdalene. There's a little bit of a spicy scene there. People were up in arms about that. If you imagine a scenario where the Catholic Church is involved with that, I see censorship. I see that. Not to mention a movie like Spotlight, which literally called out the Catholic Church.
That's so interesting.
So I think it's a bad idea.
I think that's a very interesting take. I didn't take this, though, as the Pope starting up a production company and making movies. I sort of took it as, like, him thinking about, you know, what his job is, and arguably his job could be, oh, someone's already moaning. His job could be seen as helping the world see compassion. And I think movies or cinema is the easiest art form to do that. It's empathy generating. And the fact that 2 of his favorite movies that he cited are all about despair, grief, and making sense of loss, making sense of sorrow. And so I just viewed it as him being like, how can we use film to become more compassionate and to sort of evaluate all of this stuff about the human condition.
Like, doesn't it already do, like,
it already does, but
I
feel like the Pope wants to understand how he can better harness this.
Yes. I don't think it's so much as like, how can he help the film industry, but I think...
How can the film... Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, right, exactly. I think of myself, I'm an outsider with this story. I'm not Catholic myself, of course, no disrespect, but for me, I kind of see these operating cultural silos, like in my own life, in terms of these values and principles that the Pope is trying to usher into society. I sort of see him over there because he doesn't factor into my life as much. But with this overlap and sort of cross-pollination culturally and pop culturally, I think that it allows, one, for me to kind of someone like me to have him more in my life and in my mind space, but also it provides a different conduit for his messages and mission, which is supposed to be, you know, to unify and to promote these lessons of empathy.
Can I ask a quick question?
This is a maybe more productive
Well, just because you're a music buff, would you like the idea of the Catholic Church getting involved with music?
But I think it depends what you mean by getting involved. I think I don't see this, I don't see like, Taylor Swift calling him and being like, what do you think about this lyric? Or Martin Scorsese doing that.
Okay.
I see it more as this is one strategy or tactic that's among many of how can I unify or get as many people onto my message as possible. One, let's say, of unity or whatever it might be.
My take is this, as a Catholic, could the Pope just be jumping on the influencer bandwagon?
Oh, interesting.
He just wants to get some photos with actors?
I mean, I'm not going to say that Pope Leo is clout chasing, but I might say he seems like a very lovely man. Let's not forget, he is American. He's an American, so he understands Hollywood culture in maybe a way that Pope Francis didn't understand or Pope John Paul didn't understand. He understands the power of the movie, the film, the celebrity. So he's got 30 people there. I think Spike Lee is going. There's really interesting people. Yeah. Diverse perspectives that he's inviting there. So is this actually about influencing film, or is it about, like, I don't know if you did this, I watched Conclave at the time that we were choosing a new Pope.
Yeah.
You don't think that the Pope has watched Conclave? It can be very influential in bringing people back to understand or perhaps reintroduce the church to people like me who've maybe strayed.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, the list is interesting, you know, Cate Blanchett, Dave Franco. I don't know if these are the people who are going to kind of usher in the new message, but I'm curious to see.
I'm curious as well.
We'll see. Well, I'm sure we're going to talk about it next week, so stay tuned, everybody. It's going to be a blast. Emilie Hanskamp, you know, she's a producer on our team, so we see you every day, but it's nice to see you here with us today. Okay, on the other side of the break, the cast of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives has everybody buzzing about things called dirty sodas. So why don't we try dirty sodas after the break? All right, we are back, everybody. So you've probably heard, or maybe you haven't heard, about things called dirty sodas. They are the viral drink trend that has taken over social media, and it's all thanks to a group of famous Mormon wives. So if you're wondering what all the hype is about, we've got the perfect person to show us.
So please welcome the founder and beverage director of Liquid Culture, Monica Carbonell. Nice to see you again. So Monica, apparently dirty sodas are everywhere right now. I had not heard of them, but for those like me who have not heard of it or tried one yet, break down what they are. Why are they so fascinating?
Okay, so it is a non-alcoholic, customizable soda that usually has a fruity element and cream. Now, I know that sounds a little bit odd, but think about the classic examples that do combine citrus and cream together. Pina coladas. Yeah. That cream saver candy that we all love, right? Yeah. And you know, pumpkin pie with whipped cream. So those are great. There's a lot of fun that you can have with dirty sodas and make it customizable to you.
Okay, besides being, so besides being very Instagrammable, because they look really pretty, why do you think they continue to endure in popularity?
Yeah. To be honest, I think there's an intrigue when it comes to, you know, trying something unique and different, but celebrates those nostalgic flavors that we love, you know, the Pepsi, the Cokes, all of that. And I think that the dirty soda says a lot about you. You know, say you notice someone ordered the exact same one as you, they'll be like, oh, you get me. Because I'm gonna be honest, this wasn't my trend, because I'm not a soda girl. Yeah. That's why I actually asked these two ladies to help me create it for you. So if you don't like it, just blame them, okay?
Oh my gosh. This is so exciting. So you've created dirty sodas for each of us, and I love that you did this. And confession, I used to love like orange pop and ice cream, like a float and vanilla ice cream. So you took that into consideration, and I also love pina coladas. So the drink you created for me is a dirty creamsicle.
Yes. And you're gonna make it right now. Okay, the pressure's on. We have 1 ounce of orange juice here and 1 ounce of pineapple.
Great.
And then what I want you to pour is about 3 ounces of brio. So we're gonna eyeball this. So we're gonna do about that much.
Okay.
And then you dress it with the coconut cream. Now I found this coconut cream from the Asian market. It was easy to pour. It's called Aaron D. But anyway, coconut cream, super easy, makes it approachable. And yeah, we want to garnish it with the mint, pineapple.
Oh my gosh, I love this.
Why not? Why not add this in a dirty soda?
Let's do that maybe
Monica,
like on that.
okay, so can I have a question? So first of all, brio is like an Italian kid's like throwback pop, right? Like it is such a throwback.
Flavor.
But why did it feel like that's the element, that's the soda to go to for this particular thing? And is that what is the dirt? Is the soda the dirt?
Yeah.
What's the dirt?
Yeah, what's the dirt? Because this is not dirt.
Yeah.
This is excellent.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what?
Okay.
You kind of see, it's kind of dirty
we have it?
looking.
We
you
have
know,
it
you
also.
have it. You have it. It's with
it
the
looks a
mint,
bit dirty.
So I want you to try hers. So basically, I like brio for a few reasons. It's bitter. There's a bitter component.
I like it.
There's a bitter
I like
component to it, which I like. And Jess, I know you're adventurous. Like, I want to experiment a little bit, and brio isn't typically what people would use, but I thought it went really well here.
And for a fake Italian, it's perfect as
Yeah,
well.
It's a surprising flavor.
There's a lot happening. There's a lot happening in our mouths right now. But okay, so in general, what do you need to consider when choosing the soda for your dirty soda?
Okay, so build the drink how you like, okay? So for me, you know, root beer, Pepsi, Brio, Coke, they all have their own kind of tasting profiles. So lean into that. Find out what are the tasting notes that are coming from it. Is it bitter? Are there cherries? Is it a lot of cinnamon? So I like to kind of play off that and build and figure out what flavors would work best with it. Okay,
Mine's gone.
It is really good. Okay, so a lot of these dirty sodas are super sweet, but you can make them with sparkling water and play around with the sweeteners. You made a low sugar option for me. Tell me about this drink, and what did you do?
Okay, so I called it the Velvet Fizz. We're combining raspberry and almond together to make this magic.
Raspberry and almond.
I wanted this to be approachable in the sense like there's always a fruity sweet element to it. Do we like it?
You know, this thing hits hits me in two different directions every
I'm
time.
loving this one too.
So the raspberry component that we're adding to this is raspberry jam. So I wanted something that was used at
Nice.
the house. So I put it in a shaker, add almond cream with lime, shake that up with ice, dump it into the glass, and then you top it up with sparkling water.
Wow.
You can
I
buy
really like
the
it.
coconut cream, but you went with the almond. Did you make almond cream?
I did, okay, because you know.
Oh my God.
It's simple. It's simple.
Get
I
out of
promise.
town. How simple.
Yeah, so honestly, all you have to do is toast up the almonds, okay, on a saucepan. You add 2 cups of half and half.
Okay.
Just let that simmer for 2 minutes. Guys,
okay.
that's it. That's it. There's so many easy ways to make, different infusions and creative, with the dirty soda. So almond works with so many of these flavors. So I
So
thought
good, Monica.
Very good.
Another one down. Well, this is going great. Apparently, I really like these. It's been 4 years since I have had my last alcoholic drink. And so when I did drink, thank you.
Yes.
When I did drink, my nickname was Malibu Mel.
That's right.
Can you guess why? I loved Malibu rum and Diet Coke. So that's the inspo for my drink. Can you talk to us about what my dirty soda is?
Okay, so obviously we had to do Diet Coke. I incorporated some coconut cream, some fresh lime, and this one has a bit of a random ingredient, but I made, for the fruity sweet component, a crab apple sauce. Okay, I call it a sauce because it's too thick to be a syrup, but too liquidy to be a jam. So what I love about it is that you can make this customizable to you because you can use other fruits. You can use other varietals of apples. I just saw it at the orchard and I thought, okay, why not? And I love it.
It's really good.
Wow.
All of them have this commonality where it's kind of a bit of a kick in the back of the throat. It's the soda, it's the effervescence, it's also a little bit of sweet.
And then the cream.
The cream, yeah. Anyway, how did you make the applesauce in particular in this one?
So this one, saucepan, you chop them all up, remove the seeds, and just make sure you fill it up, the water all the way to the top.
Okay.
Let that simmer. Let that simmer for a good, 15, 20 minutes, and then you
good.
blend it. And you want to add sugar to it, some, if you want citrus, spices, whatever you'd like, you can make it
Customizable.
personal to you. That's why I love this one. You can make it however you want.
Another one down. You don't have crab apples. I don't know how easy it is to get crab
It's
apples.
not anymore.
But what else would you use?
Granny Smith apple's great. We have Honeycrisp, Pink Lady. Those tart varietals are great. Yeah. But also, get out of that category too. Strawberry rhubarb would probably be killer in that. Yeah.
Incredible. Now, you probably noticed Andrea is not here, but we haven't forgot her. She's celebrating her birthday on a cruise somewhere in the Caribbean. Good for her. But you've created a drink in her honor called the Glow Getter.
I think
such a good name.
Such a good name for her, right?
It's so good. So what's in it?
So for Andrea, I really want to step out of the typical soda box, like we've had like the Cokes, the Pepsis, everything like that. So I wanted to bring a more tropical element and bring summer to this dirty soda mix.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, it's so good.
Really good.
It has a combination of mango, ginger.
The ginger,
Yes, because I use ginger beer. So I'm using ginger beer. We're using grapefruit soda in this. We have the almond cream.
It's got like island vibes.
Yes.
Really. It's
Guys,
so
this
good.
is so good. They're all so good.
Yep.
Oh my gosh,
I know.
guys.
I love that reaction.
You know what?
but-
I'll tell you something. Like, we do a lot of stuff on this show, and we've seen it all. This is a first where I have never heard of it, and I'm in love with it.
Yay!
Isn't that wild?
It's really good. Yep.
But what was your favorite, though? What is the
All of
favorite?
them.
Oh,
I think the one you made for me.
okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Monica, these are thank you to you for introducing us to this. Okay. This is what we call in television a hard turn. After the break, how to recognize the signs that a layoff is coming. And you might want to drink this with alcohol. Anyway, or not. How to prepare for that coming up next.
Yeah. Welcome back. So economic uncertainty, a tariff war, and artificial intelligence are driving many companies to restructure, tighten budgets, and cut jobs.
So while layoffs can catch people by surprise, there are usually signs that they may be coming, and therefore steps you can take to maybe be prepared. So here to tell us more is author and human resources executive, Angela Champ. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's a great last name, Angela.
It's such a good last
That's a great
name.
last name. So you've been working in this field for well over 20 years, and you say that there are often signs that a company might be looking to do layoffs. So what are they?
There are. Here are some things that you might want to keep an eye on. First of all, if they stop backfilling vacancies, what I mean is somebody leaves, either quits or is let go, and then rather than hire somebody to replace that, they just redistribute the work. Secondly, maybe what they're doing is they're putting a salary freeze or a freeze on promotion, so there's no movement within the organization. You might hear things like they're introducing EI so that we can be productive with fewer people. You're hearing that a lot more, especially now with ChatGPT. You were talking about that earlier in the segment. And you might also hear senior leaders talking about things like, we're going to streamline operations, we're going to reprioritize our priorities, we're going to become more efficient. All of those together may be a sign that there's layoffs coming in your organization.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So are there any hints that we should look out for to know if our job specifically might be one of the targets?
There are. One sign could be if you suddenly are left out of emails or meetings that you would normally be invited to. Yes, or emails that you would be included, and suddenly they're cutting you out. Or if all of a sudden you're getting feedback on your performance where you might not have had that sort of feedback before. And I'll just say with that, if you are suddenly getting feedback that you didn't have before, take it seriously, take it to heart, ask your boss how you can turn things around, how you can improve, and put a plan in place to improve, because you may be able to save your job. Don't just think, oh, my boss is picking on me, or think that, there's nothing to it, because you could save your job if you do turn things around.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, very interesting. So let's say you sense that the layoffs are coming. Are there steps you can take?
Yes, and you should do this even if you don't think a layoff is coming. You should do this anyway. One is keep your skills fresh. You can take almost free courses through LinkedIn, through your local library, through the continuing ed at university. You could read books. Keep your skills fresh. You can't expect that what you learned in the first 20 years of your schooling, of your life, is going to carry you for a 40-year career. The world is moving too fast. Another thing that you can do is network. Make sure that you know people outside of your company. You might know everybody that you work with, but do you know people in your industry? Do you know people in your place of worship? Do you know people that you play sports with? The more people know you, the broader your network, the more likely that if you're laid off, they can recommend you for a job because they now know you.
Yeah.
And the third thing that you can do is make sure that you keep your resume and your LinkedIn profiles up to date. Don't just list the job tasks that you do. Nobody cares what your actual job duties are. List what you've done, your accomplishments. And that also helps prime you so that if you are talking to recruiters or to somebody, you can say, this is what I've done. I've increased revenue. I've become more efficient. I've done this. You want to talk in terms of accomplishments, not just job duties.
Okay,
That's a really good one.
That's great. Okay, so let's say, though, you are in the end laid off. What is the first thing that we should do?
You want to make sure you look after your finances. So check to see whether you're eligible for a severance payment or if you're eligible to apply for employment insurance, EI benefits. Go and talk to your bank to see if there are payment options. If you have a loan or a mortgage, like can you pause a payment? Can you skip a payment? Sometimes they allow you to do that sort of thing. Check your budget. What are you spending money on? What's nice to have and what's you must have? And maybe pause the nice to have for a little bit, because really what you're trying to do is you're trying to take the pressure off of your finances while you're looking for a new job and new source of income.
Smart. Smart. Yes. Okay, so let's talk about, yes to that. Let's talk about possible layoff packages. Like, if there is a package that you might be offered, or can you ask for one? And if so, are they negotiable?
Yeah,
what's the etiquette here?
Sometimes they are. I would say ask anyway. So it depends on the province or the jurisdiction that you live on or live in, and also the reason you were let go, because there's some cases where you're not eligible. But depending on that, you may be. They look at things like your age, what position you have, how long you've been with a company, and how easy would it be to find a new job in this marketplace. So for example, a 50-year-old person who's a director with 12 years of service in a company is more likely to get a severance package than a 25-year-old marketing coordinator who only has 1 year of service in the organization. So always ask, and if they won't give you more money, other things you can ask for is like, can they extend your benefits? Can they give you partial bonus if you were eligible for bonus? Will they give you career transition services? Will they pay for that? Will they pay for some tuition assistance? Sometimes organizations will agree to do that, even if they won't give you more severance. Just ask.
Just ask.
Yeah.
Great to know.
Just ask.
Great
I like
to know.
that. I like that.
Okay, so let's talk about the psychological side of being laid off, because it can really be quite devastating. How can people handle that?
I would say own your narrative. In this economy, lots of people are being laid off. You're not the only one. And it's not necessarily a failure on your part. It's just part of your career story. So I say practice telling people what happened and how you're going to say it. So you could say something like, I was part of a corporate downsizing where a lot of people were let go, and I'm looking for a role as X where I can contribute whatever it is you were doing in your last organization.
That's great reframe.
I have a feeling I know what you're going to say, but is networking important after you're laid off?
Absolutely, and I
Yeah.
said this before. You know, when people are laid off, you lose your job, you might be embarrassed, you might be sad, you might be angry, all very legitimate emotions. And so your inclination is to hide in your home. You don't want to talk to anybody.
It's the last thing you'd wanna do.
The last thing you want to do. You want to get out there, you want to talk to friends, you want to talk to former colleagues, you want to talk to people in your network. Let people, you sure grieve, feel those emotions, that's very normal, but make sure that you're out there and talking to people, because like I said before, the broader your network, the more likely it is that somebody will have a lead on a job for you.
Great.
Wow, great advice.
Angela, this was so informative. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
this.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So good. Okay, digest that, and we'll be back right after this. We really need a camera in the studio on commercial breaks. We really do. All right, tomorrow on the social, Filipino recipes that make fall feel like a feast. Oh, I'm gonna feel like I'm at home. I
That's
love
so
that.
sweet.
So
I love
nice.
that.
Also, in case you haven't heard this, Project Runway Canada is about to launch. Tomorrow's show, we are welcoming supermodel and host Coco Rocha to the show. It's true. My tummy's really happy because of the dirty soda.
Oh my God, we were saying how fun that was,
It
like
was
to
so
discover
fun.
something that none of us had ever heard of.
None
And,
of
like,
us.
Exactly.
it was
We
so
were like
delightful.
wide-eyed children
Yes.
coming
Like
to this
wide-eyed
segment.
children.
I loved it.
And great info from Angela Champ as
Oh
well.
my gosh, she's
Like, so
wonderful.
Wonderful, right?
Can we call her Champ?
Yeah, we can call her Champ.
Champ.
Thanks,
Way to go, Champ!
See you same time, same place tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.